Hey Virgo, hey, it's your girl Star with Star Tarot. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are someone that continues to do so time and time again, as always, I truly appreciate you tuning in today and all of the days prior to. If you are someone that just stumbled upon my channel and you're new here, I personally don't believe in happenstance. Maybe there's a message here for you, maybe there's a message for a cross watcher, or maybe you're just meant to connect with this channel to further, get some messages or some insight or just become a part of the tribe. So, welcome, and just know that everything done on this channel is done in love and love and light only. All right, so with that being said, we're going to get right in, but I do have to go through a few of the disclosures really quick. Again, this is a general reading for Virgo, so this will not speak true to every single Virgo out there. You're going to want to pick up what I put down that certainly does resonate and simply leave the rest. You're going to want to use your own discernment, not with just this reading or this channel, but with any reader, any friend or family member that's giving you any type of advice. You need to definitely check your intellect, your intuition, and say, does this feel right to me? Does this speak to me in any type of way? Does this correlate and align with what I was already thinking that I should or shouldn't do? Okay, so that's just a little bit of advice that I give. I think that that helps you kind of decipher what advice you should and shouldn't take. So that's just kind of a good measure that I've always, done for myself. I want you guys to do the same. I'm never going to tell you what you definitely should do or anything like that, because it's up to you guys to make your own decisions. What else? What else? Okay, time is fluid, so always remember that. Some of the events that come up could definitely be something that you've already experienced last month, possibly even the month before. There could be something that rings a bell that's like, hey, I'm dealing with that right now. And there could be some events where all of the reading may not pertain to you at this point, but you're hearing this reading today, and you could realize that within a couple of weeks or next month or even the month after that, it's like, you know what? That is exactly what's happening to me now. It wasn't happening then, but it definitely is happening to me right now. If you're a cross watcher, I definitely appreciate you tuning in as well. So you might get some insight onto the Virgo that you're peeking in on, but don't be surprised if your energy, especially if you're really close to them, if your energy also shows up here. Um, what else? You guys are my very first reading of the day, and so it's always like, trying to get everything managed. And then I have them trimming the hedges out front and cutting the grass. So it's just like I have a lot of noise going on in the background. So I'm going to try to drown that out so you guys don't hear much of that. So, all right, I think that's all we need to go over as of now. We're just going to move forward. I did go ahead and meditate and pull your very first card, Virgo. So far, what I am seeing is the Eight of Swords, okay? So, for some of you, you may have been feeling a little restricted or a little trapped in some type of way, all right? Um, I'm seeing this as the collective of you being in your own head, okay? So, I feel like for a lot of you, this is a lot of worry, a lot of feeling like you can't do some things that you want to do. And especially during these times, I could see how feeling restricted could be something that rings true for a lot of people, right? But for you, Virgo, I feel like this could be something, and like I said, this could be something that has been going on for quite some time, maybe way before the whole, limitations and shutdowns due to what's going on in the world right now. But I do feel like you do feel somewhat trapped in some way, shape, or form, or some restriction in some type of way. So this is going to be what your overall energy is as of right now. You be the one to discern, you know, why that might be. We will go ahead and revisit this. It's a little warm in here now, so I'm just going to take this little sweater off. But we are going to look at the shadow side of things. This could be you feeling, restricted in terms of money. This could be in a relationship. This could be in terms of, work. But I do see that the energy that I'm getting is this, like, you've been feeling this way for a long point of time. And for some of you, I'm hearing that, there have been some things or something that you've been wanting to do, and you were already feeling like you didn't know if that was going to be able to happen. But now you really, really feel that way. Maybe because there's been so much time that has gone by that you haven't been able to produce this, or maybe it's because of what we're going through right now. It's like, well, now I really can't do it. But there is something here that's making you feel restricted. But I feel like it's something that's like really on the front of your mind, but it's really deep rooted. I feel like this has been something that you've honestly been thinking or feeling for a long period of time. Okay, so let's go on here. Let's see what it is hidden in the shadows. Let's get to the root of this. Okay, so what do we have here? All right, so I'll show you what we have here first. All right. Okay, so we're just going to go one card at a time because there was a couple of cards that came out here. And let me just get my little book here. So intuitively, when I'm looking at this, okay, there could be some of you that feel as if your restriction has to do with someone else that you're connected to or tied into. Maybe you're feeling like you would like to go a separate direction, but you don't feel like you can because maybe there's a friend or there's a family member that you've been dedicated to, and you just don't feel like you can possibly go on and do what it is that you need to do. Maybe they're really highly influencing you to do what they want you to do. Maybe you're staying, I don't know who this is for, you're staying in a certain area because, you feel like this person needs this connection between, yourself and them. Or maybe you feel like you couldn't possibly break this union between you and this person because you feel like they need you or you need them. Maybe there's a little bit of codependency here. But I do feel like there is someone here, regardless if it's a family member. This could be someone that does literally have a twin. Okay, so if you're a twin out there and you're trying to, really go on with your own identity, this could be something that is speaking directly to you. But for those of you that have, family members or friends that feel really close to you, and it doesn't necessarily have to be blood related, maybe you feel like you are restricted because you do want that alone time, or you do want that individual personal space. Okay, maybe you have broke away from a family or friend dynamic and you haven't reached out to the people that you used to be connected to, and maybe you're in your head here, okay, and you can't move on with your life because you thought that moving on with your life was going to be the answer. But now you're even more inflicted because you did move away from this connection with this person or people, and now you've been able to live your own life, and you're mentally still thinking about them. Your heart, because I'm seeing here, your heart is still connected to them in some type of way. And so maybe it's time that you reconnect with them or reach out to them. Or for some of you, maybe it's time that you do disconnect and get a little bit of individuality. So again, this is, there's two messages that are coming through here. So however this resonates, all right? But we're going to go ahead and look at the other message. These are the shadow sides, okay? These are the things that are deep within us. These are the things that are hidden even from us sometimes. These are the things that we don't necessarily like to acknowledge or want to acknowledge because they're just, too difficult to look at, but sometimes so very necessary. So let's go ahead and look at what this next card could be saying to us. Yeah, so this is all about isolation, okay? Um, and so when we're talking about being feeling restricted, right? Maybe some of you would like to reconnect to the people that you feel like you're closest to, but because there is a trying time in our lives, you do have some isolation going on here, and it's making you feel even more restricted. Um, some of you have isolated yourself purposely. Um, and isolation can be something very positive, right? Because it does teach you how to really do some soul searching. But maybe, and this card kind of indicates that it's been taking a little bit too far. Like maybe you isolated a little too long. You isolated yourself from the people that were the closest to you. And maybe even if you haven't like physically isolated, this card even talks about here, this one that we were first looking at talks about holding in certain feelings or desires, expressions from people that are closest to you that you used to share things with. But this card also has that same type of tone, letting you know that if you don't share your thoughts and feelings with others, they do echo back and forth inside of you until you turn them off. And that only you can break free from the pattern of isolation, um, especially if you've made it clear you want to be left alone. You need to change the signals you're sending out if you want companionship. So, for some of you, there could have been a situation where you were like, you know what, I really need to be alone right now. And maybe you didn't mean forever. And maybe someone, thought that you meant that you just wanted them out of your life. And the signals got really crossed. And you haven't been able to make it back to them because you fear, are they going to let me back in? Or maybe you were dead serious and maybe you just isolated yourself without even telling anybody. Or maybe you did come off wrong at that moment and say, you know what, I just need to be left alone. I just really want to be left alone. And maybe you said something in a way that had a different type of tone, or maybe there was an issue where there was a confrontation or there was a little anger or frustration, and you kind of pushed someone away, or possibly some people away. But now it's like, okay, so you feel restricted now because you've caused this isolation. Is this really what you want, Virgo? Is this really what you need? Because are you yearning for this companionship now? Okay, and you don't know how to redeem yourself. Um, so, and again, if you're cross watching, the roles could be, replaced. Or maybe this is something that happened to you, Virgo. But what I am seeing here is definitely some isolation, some restriction. Um, and it doesn't have to be all or nothing. Okay, it doesn't have to be all solitude or all society. All right, you can let the right ones in. So I don't know exactly what has happened here, Virgo, but I do feel like this could be a direct message for someone. Either someone needed their own individuality and someone broke free from someone and someone took that very harshly, or someone harshly said, you know what, I really need to be on my own and be my own person. And so there was this isolation and there was this disconnect between two people or between someone and others. Um, And again, this could just represent what's going on at this time. Maybe you were making plans to go and see friends and family members and you were dragging your feet. And now it's like, with everything that's going on, it's like, damn, maybe I should have went. Maybe I should have gone when I had clear opportunity. And now with everything that's going on, I don't, I don't necessarily want to put myself out there because of all the risks of it, but it's really making you think, wonder if I would have just done what I kept saying I wanted to do, or maybe if I would have let my guard down and really took the initiative. So, yeah, I mean, we're looking at mental entrapment and isolation, and then right there in the middle is like companionship there, okay, of any kind. All right, so we got doable. The key is within your grasp. Okay, so it's like, you might be feeling like you are restricted, or, there's some isolation, there's a wall up here. But it says that this is doable, okay? It's definitely doable. So, for some of you that, again, I feel like you might be looking at this from a standpoint of, now I can't do this, or, it went too far, or it's been too long, or I don't know how to come back, or I don't know if they'll accept me back, or, I really don't want to make that phone call, whatever. Um, just know that the key is within your grasp. This situation can change, okay? It literally can. So don't take it too far in your mind to say that it's doomed and there's no going, there's no coming back. But this card talks about what you seek is within your grasp. As with all the yeses, there are adjustments. Release yourself from a lingering mental prison of fear that you are not enough. All right, so let's go back to this. This here, this restriction is also a mental prison. So I don't know who this message is for, but this is getting pretty detailed and pretty direct. All right? Because now we're talking about having a mental prison of fear that you are not enough and that you're not worthy. But it says that you have the right key. Do not doubt it. It's time to be grateful for your teachers, even the ones whose lessons you didn't necessarily like. Past lovers, past employers, bullies, cyber stalkers, all of them had lessons to teach you. Incredibly, when you meditate on gratitude for these lessons, the struggles around you dissipate. The key to opening the rest of your life hoovers within your grasp. It's yours to use. Okay? Um, just a side note here. It says, if this card is drawn at a time you are seeking to step up into the next widely acknowledged level of success, whether it be career advancement, passing a test, being accepted into an institute of learning, this card indicates that the answer is yes. So if some of you have just been, entrapped about finding this success, and being united with, what you love to do, and feeling like, you don't know if you can get there, this is yes for success when it comes to business, career, passing a test, that sort of thing. But when we're talking about, and I just had to read that insert because sometimes there's certain things that speak to certain people. But for the collective here, and I feel like the collective might not be that big when I'm seeing this message. I feel like this is a direct message, and sometimes when I say that, it comes back to where there's like all these people that are like, oh my god, that message is for me. So there could be a lot of you that feel disconnected from someone, okay? So I don't want to discount that, but I do feel like for the collective, this is about a person or people that you're isolated from and having this mental entrapment, feeling like, now you're not worthy, or now you're not enough to go back and say, hey, I've missed you, hey, I need you in my life. Or maybe you're waiting for someone to come back to you to acknowledge this. But this is definitely mental trapment 101. This is isolation, mental prison. I mean, this is just over and over again. There's just a tone of detachment here, Virgo. Um, and so we're just going to keep going. We're just going to keep going. But the cards are definitely all speaking to each other today. So let's just move forward, okay? And I think that what I've learned so many times, unfortunately, in the last 15 years is that, you know, the old cliche, time waits for no man, you know, and it is really, really short. I mean, these days, I feel like it's Friday. Every 2 days, it's Friday again. Then it's Saturday, then it's Sunday night, and there goes supposedly Monday. I don't remember anything after someone says, oh, it's Monday. Next thing I know, I wake up out of the fog and it's Friday again. Life is too short. So if you need to make that phone call, if you need to send that text, make that trip, if you feel like your heart is really, really pulling for it, or if someone has been asking you time and time again to go and you feel a little tinge of guilt because you haven't gone already, I'm not here to tell you what to do, but you know, your mind and your body and your soul definitely speaks to you. And maybe you reached this, you know, this channel, this reading, this message for a reason. And I mean, you don't want to have tons of regret, okay? So I am going to take all of these. Typically, I'll be like, you know what, it's too many cards. But there's a lot that is hidden here, Virgo, and I feel like I almost feel like even with your reading, I feel like I'm having to pull this out like ever so gently and slowly, because I feel like this is how this situation has been. It's like not easily to decipher, not easily to just open up the box and say, oh, okay, this is what's going on in here. It's like with you guys, it's like you got to be very, very careful how you get in there. And sometimes I don't even think you guys understand how deep certain hurts that you guys experience are for you. I just don't think that you kind of, you know, go on and do what you have to do, because you guys are doers, right? And so when you got the doable card, I'm like, yes, you know, you guys get it done. But sometimes when it comes to matters of the heart and when it comes to feeling certain things, it's like you guys are such doers. It's hard for you guys to slow down and really be like, okay, I really heard that. I really felt that. It's like you got to slow down and really feel it. So I feel like with everything that's gone on in the world as of late, this has really put a mirror in front of you to say, okay, now look at this. Now address that. So what we're having, now that we're talking about this is fairness. It says the situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. Yeah, I also call this my Libra card, because anytime there's scales, anything to do with fairness, just, you know, Libra. So you might be dealing with a Libra, but also, again, this is talking about fairness. So there could have been a situation where, you know, like I said, there could have been a confrontation between you and someone else, and this needs to balance out, and this situation is going to be handled through some type of fair system that the universe is going to grant you with. But something needs to, the scales need to tip here, okay? There needs to be some balance put back in here. We also have golden opportunity. It says open. No, it does not say open. It says important doors are opening for you right now. Walk through them. All right. So I feel like this is a direct message here that, you know, there's going to be an opportunity. There's going to be an opportunity for fairness to come in. And this is going to be a golden opportunity for a door to open. And Virgo, you must acknowledge that the door is opening, so that if you do want to revisit this, if this has been pulling at your heartstring, this will be the golden opportunity for you to walk through that door, literally, for some of you to walk through that door. All right. Now, we also have focused intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make the mark. Okay, because I think this is what this is all about right now. Is like I said, you haven't really had the time or the mind space to really take a look at this situation, or even think about this person, or really even go deep within your inner self to say, hey, what is this? Oh, it's really been that long. When this was said, I could have hurt them, or that really hurt me. So it's like you need to have some focused intention on this, because this is a doable situation. Like I said, time does not wait for no man. So let's go ahead and see if we can bring some balance, some fairness back into this, and see if we can, open up a door of opportunity here. I also see divine passion. It says, and I'm going to put this one up. It says, be honest with yourself. What is your heart's true desire? And this is what I was just talking about, Virgo. I feel like a lot of times with you all, you don't necessarily share what your true desire will be unless it's something that's very logical. Like, you know what, I really want to move, or I really would like a new house, or I would really like to buy this one day. But when it comes to matters of the heart, the things that matter the most, when it comes to emotions and feelings, like I was just saying a few moments ago, it's very difficult for you guys to really tap into this. And it's like they want you to have this focused intention on the matter of whatever the situation, if it's matters of the heart, what's passionate for you, what is your innermost thoughts. It's time for you to really have that self conversation and say, what is my true heart's desire? Okay. And then there's receptivity. It says, allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others. Yeah. So, Virgo, I'm going to say this now because I do have Virgos all around me. You guys are the ones that really, really do love to give. All right. You love to give the advice. You love to, give the gifts. You love to clean up the messes. All right. You love to do the organizing for everyone, make the plan. But you have to learn how to receive appropriately. You need to be able to listen to the other person's point of view. You need to be able to allow people to give back to you. If someone has made a mistake and they want to say sorry to you, it's time for you to give them the ear to go ahead and to do that. Give them the sound stage to say, I'm sorry. Or if someone wants to give something to you, Virgo, it doesn't always necessarily mean that there's a catch, or there's some type of motive, all right? Or that you have to give something back in return. So this being receptive also needs to talk about being receptive to yourself as well. You need to be receptive to yourself to know what it is that you truly want and truly desire, so that you can bring in the receptivity of someone giving back to you, all right? Because I'm hearing that for some of you, it's like, you know what, nobody ever gives back to me. Well, maybe it's because you're not allowing your true desires known, okay? Maybe you're just always doing for yourself or doing for other people, and people are very intimidated by this. Or maybe you don't stand up enough for yourself, Virgo, to say, you know what, I don't like that shit. I don't like that you don't do this, or I would like if you did do that. And no one knows how to give back to you. Or maybe there are people there that are just taking your kindness for a weakness, and they're just taking, Virgo, because you have a lot to give. All right. So what is your heart's true desire? All right. But it's time for you to get back in some way. All right. It definitely is time. And when we're talking about that, here with this fairness, you know, it's also time for the scales to tip in your favor if you are that person that is always giving. All right. Um, yeah, so I'm going to keep that there. But then, ironically enough, we have the compassion, the Konyen card. Okay, this is all about releasing judgments about yourself and others and focus on the love and light that is within everyone. Okay, so here I feel like, Virgo, if there is someone that you are meant to reconnect with, or to forgive, or to ask forgiveness of, all right, if you said something, if you did something, it really is time to forgive yourself, or forgive the person, even if they haven't even come in to ask for forgiveness. Sometimes we have to get that forgiveness in order for us to move on or to get some type of closure. But there is something here that says that you might be looking for, or your soul is looking for, some type of healing or closure when it comes to a situation. And I feel like it's involving someone. And as I say that, out pops the relationship card. Okay. um, so the relationship card, often, we know relationships don't always have to be romantic relationships, right? They can be relationships that we have with our friends and our family, our coworkers. Um, but let's just go ahead and see. Sometimes I do like to look at the book here to see if there's any words that specifically jump out here. It says, if you are struggling to find a loving and meaningful relationship, it might be worth checking on the relationship that you have with yourself. For all of our relationships with others mirror the relationship we have with ourselves. All right, so let's check this out real quick. All right, so this message is definitely for those of you that are looking for a relationship, a meaningful relationship that you don't necessarily have right now. So when this card, I'm reading this card right here, and this is why I love to go back and read some of these messages, because sometimes when I'm reading this card, it's relating to another card and it's giving me another case scenario, just like this card here is. So I'm reading this card, and this card is telling me to tell you all that if you're looking for a meaningful relationship right now, and maybe for some of you, you're feeling, mentally trapped or isolated from being able to find this love, or this love to find you. Here is the new message for some of you out there. Maybe you're not able to find that because you need to acknowledge that you need to build a relationship with yourself first, okay? Because what this says is, it says, if you are struggling to find a loving relationship and a meaningful relationship, it might be worth checking on the relationship you have with yourself, okay? Taking a look at in the mirror. What type of relationship do you have right now with yourself? So for some of you, you're like, you know what? I don't know where he or she is. I'm looking for this relationship and it's just not coming. Okay, well, what type of relationship do you have with yourself first? Because if you have not learned how to love yourself, you're not going to build boundaries and limitations. If you don't know how to tell yourself what you really desire, how are you going to set the stage and the tone and the boundaries and the limitations for someone else to come in? If you haven't done any of that for yourself, you're going to allow someone to come in willy-nilly and just come in and do whatever they want, handle you however they want, and then somewhere in the middle or towards the end, you're going to say, yeah, you know what? This is not what I really want, and they're going to be looking at you crazy like, You've been dealing with this for 6 months. You've been dealing with this for 5 years. What do you mean? All right. So it says here, if you feel that something is lacking in your current relationship with another, you will often find that the same thing is also lacking within you. Okay? So, this is so interesting. So, if you are like looking at your partner or someone that you want to be partnered with and you haven't, gone to the next level because they're dragging their feet or whatever the situation is, it's like, okay, are you mad at this person, or are you judging this person for what they're not doing or what they are doing because of it ringing so close to home to what you're doing and what you're not doing? Is it illuminating some type of fear or some ill behavior within yourself that you don't like? Okay, this card is really, really freaking deep. So with this card to show up alongside of this card, you would think that I'm talking about this card here, but no, this card is definitely coming in together. These two energies are talking to someone out there. Okay, so if it's talking to you, please comment down below and let me know what's going on here. All right, it says, when you find love and meaning within yourself, you will see love and meaning within others. All transforms when we transform. Okay? So again, if you're someone out there that is missing someone and you're like, why are they not responding? Why are you not responding? Okay? So you might be mad at them for not being the bigger person, but it's like, why do they have to be the bigger person? Why can't you be the bigger person? Or if you are looking for a relationship and you're like, why haven't they showed up? It's like, well, have you shown up for yourself? Do you even know yourself? Do you even love yourself? You want someone to love you and you don't even love yourself yet. So, I mean, if there is someone that you are dealing with and you're wondering, why certain things are being said and done, and it's like, is it really triggering you because something that they are doing or saying rings pretty true to what you do or how you think or how you feel? So I now understand why this compassion card comes up, and I see why this fairness, you got to be fair, okay? Because some of you are not being fair. Some of you are not playing fair. You're pointing the finger and you're judging, and you're like, you know what? Why is this person? And you're like I said before, in your own head, okay, about some things, and some of you are passing judgments, and this is not for everyone, and some of you are not walking through the door of opportunity or creating the door of opportunity, and some of you are not being honest with yourself about what your heart's true desire is. I mean, this is all about getting real with yourself, okay, Virgo? You got to get real, okay? But we're going to move right along here, and I'm going to tell you right now, Spirit has been reading all of us at this point. It's like, okay, these are things that need to be acknowledged. So don't be afraid to get read. Y'all try to come in here and say, oh, I'm going to get me a little reading. I'm going to see what's going on with so-and-so. No, sometimes you get read. Okay, during a reading, you get read. So I get read every day. All right, why, I'd be asking, why ain't this going on and why ain't this happening? And they're like, because you haven't done nothing, ma'am. Okay, because you said you was going to do it 6 months ago and you still ain't done it. That's why, So you got to appreciate someone keeping it real with you, all right? And sometimes that's what you need, because sometimes we just can't see ourselves fully, all right? And for somebody, maybe you've met your match. Maybe this person is a twin flame, and this person, or is a soulmate, and this person is reflecting back to you what you give off or gave off in relationships of seasons past. And it's like, oh, now you're dating yourself. Can you change your ways, seeing how somebody might be affected by how you respond or don't respond? Okay, that's for somebody. All right, so we have the beautiful place. Okay, the beautiful place. So let's take a look at this. It says, don't be scared to face a problem head on. You don't need to be willful about a solution, but in facing the issues, you shall simplify the complexity and recognize the practical steps that will create healing change. Keep your mind and heart open as you ask for unconditional, loving guidance as to how you best evoke divine healing in any situation. There is an outcome available to you that is far more beautiful and divinely inspired than what you can currently envision. Yeah, because you're here, right? You're mentally entrapped. You're like, "Oh God, this isn't going to work. It's not coming. I can't do this," you know. It says, ask for divine help and trust unconditionally in the assistance that will lead you away from the limitations of your current thinking. Hello, hello, hello. Into the perfection of what the divine wishes for you and our world. Yeah, because you know what? There's so many people that literally cannot break out and be honest with themselves. So if they can't be honest with themselves of what they really want, you're not going to be honest with other people about what you need and what you want. And you don't. A lot of us do not. This is how our world is right now. Well, I don't want to be looking weak, and I don't want to feel vulnerable, and I don't want to get rejected. So you don't say, and you don't do. And then a lot of people just settle. There's a lot of people out there that are married for years and years and years, and they're like, 10 years ago, what she did something and she don't even know that I know that she did it. Or, 20 years ago when I first met him and he was dealing with that chick, I acted like it didn't even bother me. And I still think about it to this day, how he just shrugged it off and well, you didn't say nothing. Okay? We have to learn how to say it to ourselves first. And there's a saying here in one of these decks, okay? I think it's my Soul Journeys deck that I just got that I love. And it says you have to feel it in order to heal it. And Virgo, and this is what I'm seeing for you guys. You have to feel it in order to heal it. And then you got to put a voice to it. All right? So Spirit is really, really addressing you today. It's time to acknowledge some shit. Oh, oh, yes. Look at that. Good old mending. You got the mending card. How interesting. We got the mending card. Wow, it's time to mend. Two people that used to be so close. All right. Mending. Okay, Virgo, this is mending. This is fairness, tipping the scales, getting things back in balance. But don't take my word for it. We're going to read a little bit out of the book, okay? Because I feel a little bit of stubborn energy here. I honestly do. And trust and believe. I'm with you guys. I literally got eaten alive just last night about my stubbornness and about what I need to do. I had already made up in my mind, well, listen, this is what and Spirit was like, oh, no, no, that's not compassion. That's not, that's not what we do here. So I get it. Trust me, I get it. But let's go ahead. I just can't believe Spirit's coming for y'all like this. Okay, I didn't see this coming. All right, just like I didn't see it coming last night. I was like, what? I had to, grasp my pearls. I was like, oh my God, like you're really Yeah, yeah, they had me grasping at the pearls. All right, so let's see here. It says, each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden. This keeps us chained to the very things we need to heal: the pain, the memories, the echoes of resentments, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Okay? Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of the old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends to others. Set yourself free. Wow, Virgo. This is so cut and dry. Like, this, I mean, I cannot make this up. This is literally just unfolding right before my eyes. Like, wow. All right, so let's close this out with a message from the Soul Journey card. All right, so this flips, so we're going to take this. What boundaries need to be created or strengthened within my relationships? Y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. It says, to create more healthy boundaries, we must first get in tune with our own needs, desires, and feelings and believe we are worthy of them. In your relationships, it's essential to know where they end and where you begin. When we separate our energy from others, hello. Okay, listen. When we separate our energy from others, we gain clarity about what we really want. Then we stop doing things that no longer align with ourselves. If you are an empath, you can still be compassionate towards others without taking on their stuff. It is safe to trust that you are not here to fix anyone. Today's mantra: I have everything I need within me now, and so do they. I am worthy of my needs, and I set boundaries based on what's best for me. Okay. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier when we were talking about this passion card here. All right, being honest about what your heart's true desires are. And if you don't love yourself first, you don't create the boundaries and the limitations. Remember, I just got done saying that. And the reason why they mention an empath, so if you are an empath, you know how that is. I'm actually an empath, where if you're around other people, you can pick up on their feelings and their vibes. If you're around a lot of people, you have a lot of feelings and vibes going through you. So you got to be very careful, because it can send you into those feelings and those emotions sometimes all at once, right? So a lot of times people that are empaths, we distance ourselves from going into larger crowds or certain people that are called energy vampires, that sort of thing. But it's like, you know what? You can still be even as sensitive as an empath and still have people in your life, but just set up boundaries. You don't need to sever, okay? You don't need to isolate, okay? And live in this freaking little Rapunzel-ass castle, all right? Because you're going to look up one day and it's going to be very, very lonely, all right? Or there's going to be a lot of regrets. So this is really profound. It's like, set up these boundaries within yourself first of what you will and will not do and what you want and do not want, and then go from there, because you have to have something here to strengthen your relationships, and it starts with you first. But then once you've done that, I mean, there are some very important relationships that you might not be able to let in because you haven't established boundaries in relationships with yourself that talk about your true desires, your wants. And if you do want to reach back out to somebody, okay, and you're like, you know what, I want to reach out, but then there's going to be, okay, set the boundary, set the tone. And it says, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this, but I'm not going to allow this and this and this to happen. Or I'm going to make it be known that I'm just calling to say, or if I meet up with this person, it has to be in public. But either way, there's got to be some type of mending here, okay? There's got to be some type of mending. There's got to be some fairness here. There's got to be some things that get back into balance, all right? And don't forget that, you have to use some type of compassion here. No more judging yourself of why you didn't do this earlier, or you could have, and all of that, and why they didn't do, all right? So, this is deep. I mean, this is all about relationships, okay? Relationships that you have with other people, and most importantly, the relationship that you have with yourself. And I try to tell people all the time, you have to set the relationship with yourself first before you even go into the field of finding a relationship. The very first most important relationship should be with yourself, okay? Let's see what you guys need to focus on. I'm pulling this out blindly. This is my little, I just love this. This is my new little angel message. So I can't even see these. They are like this, okay? And so I just look away, and whatever comes out of here, I said, okay, what does Virgo need to, work on for this next, month? What do they need to focus on? My goodness! You've got to be kidding me. Harmony. Yow. It says disharmony occurs when we try to resist life's natural flow. Everything has its cycle. Every stage of life has its own unique meaning and purpose. Every day can be harmonious if we want it to be. If we want it to be. You don't hear me. Okay? Wow. I'm telling you, the cards that I have, I don't just pick them because they're beautiful, or because I just love the artist. I let them speak to me. And lately, now that I've gotten so many decks, probably too many decks in the last 2 months, they all speak together. They all work together. It's not just about the cards, because the power isn't necessarily in the cards, but I have the right cards for the messages to come through. And so harmony definitely makes sense, because this is what this is all about, right? It's all about fairness. It's all about mending, right? It's all about, compassion, all right? Setting the boundaries to strengthen your relationships. So, if this resonated at all, Virgo, this message is definitely for someone out there, okay? It may be for a lot of you. I don't know. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, so that I can know that this message that is so deep went out to at least somebody out there. If you're interested in a personal reading, that information is down below. Please email me at healingtarot1111@gmail.com. I'm truly blown away at this reading, because I felt this. Y'all seen it. I can't make this up. I pull these cards blindly, but Spirit knows what they're doing. I love the fact that Spirit can show up and show out. And this is why I personally like to shuffle on camera, because you guys get to see, how things, transpire here. So, again, you guys need to think about what you need to mend, who you need to mend things with. But I think for a lot of you, it starts with you first, right? It starts with you first, Virgo. So, thank you all for tuning in. I love you guys so very much. Till next time, take care of yourself and take care of others should you need. Okay, Virgo? Take care. Bye-bye.